Screwed podcast. Now, before this episode, I was just telling Jason how we've been getting a couple emails from a couple guys, one named David and one named John from Sydney. And they asked me something that really piqued my interest, because if you guys have listened to this, and David and John, I guess, listen to this quite frequently. They said they're big fans of us, so they're some of the 20 or so that listen to us on a weekly basis. But David and John, I guess, and I don't understand, because we're a true crime podcast mostly. We do some paranormal and some historical stuff on the side, but I mean, for the most part, we do true crime. But they asked me in a relationship question, Jason, which was interesting, and so I looked it up, and I wanted to address their concerns, because if nothing, we're for our audience. That's what I do. So I researched and I looked up, and David and John are both having problems with women that they've recently, I guess, started dating. David had been dating his girlfriend a little longer than John, but both of them had similar problems that I wanted to address. And both of them were wondering, they said this girls that they were dating came out really strong at first. That they were really into him, everything was great. They were talking to him on a daily basis, and then, sometimes they would just basically ghost them. Like, they wouldn't text them for long periods of time, then they would shoot back a text if they sent a text. And then it became less and less and less as the relationship moved forward, and David and John started, of course, chasing these women, trying to figure out why they were being dismissed, what was going on. So I looked it up, and this is actually a psychological behavior trait for a lot of women, especially women for some reason, and it's called attachment disorder, or attachment dismissive disorder, where these women, they seem to have not got enough emotional support as children. So what they do is, at first, they get very clingy and are very, I guess, like wanting to pursue you, but they're so emotionally unavailable that they put up this wall to kind of push these guys away, and they don't want to get attached in the relationship, so they pull away from these guys to the point of just completely ghosting you and dismissing you.
Right.
So if this happens to you guys, you have two choices. Your best bet, and I'll give you my first thought on this, but either way it works out the same way. Your best bet on this is basically to cut off complete contact. If you go no contact with these women, they tend to kind of come back to the relationship after a while, but you have to do completely no contact. I mean, cut off social media, all contact with these girls.
Yeah.
And if they don't come back after, say, about 45 days, 60 days, just cut your losses and leave.
Yeah.
Because you're dealing with someone who cannot process emotions in a normal way. So if you're definitely stuck on these two girls, David and John, I'd say do no contact for a little while. And if they come back, just realize that this is going to be a constant thing.
Yeah, they're not going to stop.
Yeah, they're not going to stop doing it. So what you're going to have is, if you pursue a long-term relationship with people of this nature, you're going to have a constant withdraw and come back kind of situation. So if you're not comfortable with that situation, if you can't deal with them going out of contact with you for long periods of time, a week, 2 weeks, whatever, then it's best just to cut bait and run.
Yeah.
And if you can deal with that type of relationship, and some people can, I mean, you know, some people have, you know, very long-term relationships with these type of people. You just got to realize that the attachment will come eventually with these types, but it takes a very long time. And when the attachment does come, just know that they're going to be severely attached.
Right.
Because if you do break through that wall, it's going to be clingy to a point of death.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, just there you go. There's my 2 cents in the whole matter. So, either...
run.
Yeah. Either run.
Just run.
Just run, or get ready for a roller coaster for the next few years. And once you break through that wall, get ready for the most attached girl you've ever seen in your whole life.
Yeah, I mean, the truth is, if they're interested at first, and you are talking on a daily basis for a week or two, and then all of a sudden she's ghosting you.
Well, see, the thing is,
I mean, that right there is number one. Like, that right there should be the red. I mean, that's the only red flag you should ever need.
Well, these people interest me for a lot of reasons, because yes, they do this, but the weird thing is, they still like you.
Right.
Okay, it's not that they don't like you,
right,
or that they want to dismiss you. It's that they're so scared of getting hurt,
right,
that they do this as a defense mechanism, and they kind of shrink into themselves for a little while. And then they come back out and they like you again, and then they shrink back again. The funny part about all of this is like I said, once you get past that initial shrinking and coming back thing, when they do get attached to you, they're way attached. Like, you'll have the most clingy, attached person in the world.
Because, like you said, they've let their wall come down.
Yeah.
And now they've made the decision to go on with a relationship that they were scared as fuck to get in to begin with.
Yeah.
And the reason they were scared was they're afraid of abandonment.
Yeah, and once you get into that inner circle of them, you are like they become so clingy that it's almost smothering. Mm-hmm. So you have to decide. I mean, now, it can take a while. I read some reports when I was researching this, because it interests me that people are like this, but I read some reports that these people sometimes take years to get to that cling stage.
Sure.
But it does happen eventually if you put up with this withdrawal and come back shit for a while.
Yeah.
But anyways, we're not talking about that's my soapbox. We are not getting into dating relationships.
But that's neither here nor there.
Yes, that's neither here nor there. Today we're talking about Paul Michael Stefani. And Paul Michael Stefani humors me because he was a serial killer from 1944 until he was alive from 44 until 98.
His moniker just makes him sound like the most pussy serial killer of all time.
That is why he humored me so much, is because he's known as the Weepy voiced killer. And he's also known as the Weepy voice man. He's known about this because he would call police anonymously and he would report his own crimes, and he would be remorseful and almost sorry for his crimes, but he would do it in a high-pitched, woman-like voice. So he only killed 3 people that we know of, and he did it in this is another thing that is weird about this guy. It's not in one of those areas. Again, he's one of those serial killers that were not in your normal areas, like the West Coast or the East Coast. It was in Minneapolis, St. Paul, Minnesota, which is, again, an area you don't normally see your serial killers. But yes, he would call the police in a high-pitched woman's voice, being remorseful about his crimes, going, "Can you catch me? Can you get me? Hey guys, hey, I killed somebody."
Oh my God.
So let's get into this. So
I murdered someone.
I killed somebody and I didn't know what to do. Oh, good God. Oh, good Lord. So Paul. So old Paulie Stefani. Okay. So, one of his things that he said to him, he goes, "Hey guys, goddamn, will you please find me? I just stabbed another girl with an ice pick and I can't stop myself. I just keep killing people." So he was born. So Stefani was born September 8th, 1944.
Goddamn, will you find me? I just stabbed somebody with an ice pick. Oh my God. Just hear this dude's weepy voice. Goddamn, will you find me?
I love it.
That's nuts.
I love it so much.
I can't stop.
I can't stop myself. I just killed somebody else. Good God.
I guess he sounded like Mr. Hanky the
Mr.
Christmas.
Hanky the Christmas Boo. Ah! Ah! Oh, Jesus. Okay.
Oh, damn it.
So he was... Stefani was born on September 8, 1944 and raised in Austin, Minnesota. As one of 10 children, he was raised in a highly religious family. Of course he was. His mother remarried when he was very young, giving him a stepfather who was known to sometimes throw his stepchildren, including Stefani, down the stairs. Yeah. Oh yeah! This is how you make a serial killer. Step 1, born into a family with a lot of children. Step 2, add abuse and neglect.
Right.
Like throwing your kids down the fucking stairs.
Goddamn.
Oh. He was married to Beverly Litter and had a daughter with her. He was convicted of aggravated assault and had a history of mental illness. Yeah, step 3, mentally ill. Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
He began his serial killings on New Year's Eve, funny enough, in 1980. It was university student Karen Poddick had just arrived in St. Paul, Minnesota to have a party with her sister. Poddick left the party after midnight and wandered around the city drunk. Well, there's your first problem, bitch. Not saying that that's a reason to kill people, but if you're in Minneapolis, Minnesota, and you've never been to a city before, and it's New Year's Eve, and you're wandering around the city drunk in the middle of the night, it's probably not a great way to start your year, and not a way to avoid being murdered. 3 hours later, police received a call from a man wanting a squad to be sent to Pierce Butler Road, the manufacturing company machine shop, because there was a girl hurt there. At the location, officers found Poddick's naked body in a snowbank near railroad tracks. She had been beaten to the point in which her skull was crushed in.
Oh.
She had been bludgeoned repeatedly, possibly over 100 times.
Oh.
Despite her severe injuries, Poddick survived the incident.
What?
Yeah, but she was still recovering from brain trauma. Months later, police once again received a call from the same man that called then in a weepy voice, claiming to have stabbed someone with an ice pick. The body of Kimberly Compton was found shortly after near an unfinished freeway. She had been stabbed with an ice pick, just as the caller had said. The event resulted in the police dubbing the caller the weepy-voiced killer because he spoke in a high-pitched, weepy woman's voice, crying during... crying
That's crazy.
during the conversation saying, "I just stabbed a girl. Would you?
God damn,
will you find me?" Okay. 2 days later, the killer called again to say that he was sorry for what he had done to her. Crying again on the phone with police for
sorry for what I did to Compton.
Crying for over 20 minutes on the phone with police, saying that he was sorry and how he regretted it, but he couldn't help it. He just wanted to kill her with the ice pick. Fuck.
Wow.
14 months later, police find the body of Barbara Simmons on a Minneapolis river. She had been stabbed to death. 2 days later, the killer calls fire emergency to say, "I am sorry for stabbing Simmons repeatedly."
Dude, it says here the...
And had been responsible for Compton's murder also.
They, the Simons girl.
Yeah, Simmons.
They were at a bar, and after spending a night at the bar with Stefani, Simmons told a waitress, "He's cute. I hope he's nice since he's giving me a ride home." Oh no. Well, come to find out there, Miss Simmons, Barbara, he was not nice.
Yes, so they found out he was at the bar. And they also found out that he worked at the manufacturing plant where product had been found at the same location. So despite monitoring, Stefani went to the city's red light district, solicited a prostitute named Denise Williams, and had sex with her in his apartment. Stefani offered Denise to drive her back to the district, and she accepted it. However, instead of driving her back to her job as a prostitute, if you want to call it a job, Stefani took Denise to a dark and secluded road, saying that it was a shortcut. Suspicious of his behavior, Denise saw a glass bottle and planned on using it against Stefani if he tried to harm her. At the end of the road, Stefani stabbed her in the stomach, but was hit with the bottle, which caused wounds in his head. So she manages to open the door, but is stabbed several more times. Her screams awaken a man nearby who confronts Stefani, causing him to run away. Later, Stefani calls emergency to stop his bleeding, and his voice is recognized by the department, who quickly connects Stefani's injuries to Denise's attack. Stefani is arrested and convicted of attempted murder and charged with the murder of Barbara Simmons. During the trial, police could not link Stefani to the murders committed by the Weepy voice killer, despite Stefani's sister confirming it was indeed his voice when listening to the tapes. Years later, after being diagnosed with skin cancer, Stefani confessed to the murder of Kimberly Compton and the attempted murder of Karen Poddick, plus a third victim, the unsolved drowning of Kathy Grinning. Investigators soon found Grinning's address book, which included the name Paul S. and a telephone number belonging to Stefani. Stefani actually died of cancer while in custody on June 12, 1998. Now, let me just say this about the police, as I've said in many, many times when we've talked about these cases. He worked at the manufacturing plant of Poddick. His sister tells you that his voice is on the tapes. He confesses to one murder, but you can't convict him on another murder, because even though you had somebody saying that's his voice, clearly, that's my brother.
Yeah.
Yeah, you just, not enough evidence, clearly. And you can't connect him to the crime of Poddick, even though you know he's a killer. You know he killed a person, attempted to kill another prostitute, and he worked at the manufacturing plant, but you can't connect him to any of this at all. I'm not saying the police do shoddy work, but I'm saying they do a little bit of shoddy work, goddammit. I mean, this is just nonsense.
Right.
So, here's some of the things he said about Simmons. He said, "I'm sorry I killed that girl. I stabbed her 40 times. Then he said on the phone, "Kimberly Compton was the first one over in St. Paul. I don't know what's the matter with me. I'm just so sick." Then he goes on to cry for a few minutes. "I'm going to kill myself, I think. I'm just going to. If somebody dies with a red shirt on, it's me. I've killed more people. I know I'll never make it to heaven." And then he goes on to cry for another 20 minutes.
Oh, God.
Oh.
What a crybaby.
Jesus Christ. So he stabbed Kimberly Compton 61 times with an ice pick.
Jesus.
Yeah. This was in 1981. In 1980, he bludgeoned Karen Potok over 100 times with a tire iron.
But she lived.
But she lived.
That's crazy.
They know that he hit her at least 10 times about the face, neck, and head. But they think there was over 100 times that he hit her within the body. In 1982, he drowned Kathy Greening, 33, in her own bathtub. He stabbed Barbara Simmons 100+ times in the stomach, neck, head, chest, and body. He stabbed Denise Williams several times with a screwdriver in her own stomach and didn't kill her.
Right.
But they know he killed at least 3. He killed Compton with an ice pick. 61 times he stabbed her. He killed Kathy Greening in her own bathtub, and he stabbed Barbara Simmons over 100 times in her body. And he attempted to kill Denise Williams.
I just did that. It's crazy to me when people stab people that much. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you gotta be severely pissed.
Yeah, in complete rage.
Yeah.
That's a lot of work. When you think about it, dude, you know what I mean?
During the trial, in the Simmons murder case, his ex-wife's sister and a woman who lived with him all testified they believed the hysterical caller in the attacks was Stefani. But the police said there wasn't enough to identify him because he cried in an hysterical, distorted woman's voice, sometimes sobbing for 20 to 30 minutes at a time, blowing his nose, and then coming back to the hysterical woman's voice while screaming into the phone how he killed these women and how he deserved to die. What kind of bitch pussy kills these women? It's almost like...
And how is that not enough evidence? I don't...
It's almost like there was, literally, this is where you get the Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde syndrome. It's like, on the one side, he's this vicious, crazed, psychopathic killer that just goes animalistic and beats and stabs these women hundreds and hundreds of times.
Yeah.
And then he's got, this other fucking side to him that's just remorseful for what his other side's doing.
Yeah.
And he calls the police and he's like, "I can't help myself. You don't understand." I would say,
goddamn,
if
will you find me?
Yeah, if anybody had a valid excuse for
insanity,
it would be him. I mean.
Yeah, he's insane, and he knows he's insane.
Yeah.
He's remorseful, but he can't stop himself.
Yeah. I mean, that
crazy,
almost is
bro.
like schizophrenia or multiple personality syndrome. I mean, because, you know, if anybody had a clear-cut case for insanity, it would have been him. He should have just said, I did all of them, and went, you know, to a psychiatrist. They probably would have put him in a psychiatric institution or something. I mean, he got 58 years in prison.
It's very odd, too, for these serial killers to have remorse at all.
Yeah.
Let alone sobbing uncontrollably.
That's what I said. I mean, there was 5 victims total. They know he killed 3 and 2 survived. And he did 58 years in prison before his death. He died of skin cancer. But it's just insane to me that this is another rarity that kind of piqued my interest in this case. Because most serial killers that we research have no remorse whatsoever. In fact, they would just continue to do it. I mean, even Edmund Kemper, you know, he's been in prison for years. And Edmund Kemper, now he did have some remorse, Kemper did. But he said, if you let me out, I'll do it again.
Yeah.
Dave fucking won.
Yeah.
He said, I will go kill another motherfucker the moment you release me from the son of a bitch. He said, don't ever release me because I promise you I will do it again.
Right.
And, you know, Bundy, up until the day he died, Bundy showed absolutely no remorse for anything he did.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and most of them don't. They don't even have the capacity for remorse. So for a guy to have as much remorse as this guy did, clearly he's not your normal atypical serial killer.
Right.
You know, yeah, he killed, but, you know, he clearly had something mentally wrong with him going on in his brain beyond your typical serial killer.
Yeah.
He was schizophrenic or something of that nature and couldn't be diagnosed in the 80s, you know, but clearly there was something else there because he called the police up. But to call him
dude
up,
has some screws loose, dude.
a weepy, high-pitched voice.
Yeah.
Goddamn, will you just catch me? I stabbed this bitch 100 times. You don't understand. I can't believe I did it. Oh God, Lord Jesus.
No, it's definitely a crazy case, man. For
and to be called the weepy voice killer. I mean, could you be called anything less masculine?
Yeah, no shit. No shit.
Anyways.
Yeah.
This was our episode on the Weepy Voice Killer and Paul Stefani. And I hope you liked it, and we'll see you next time.
Later.